Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is John. I'm a filmmaker slash creator and your host for Make Limited Podcast, where we talk about how to change our circumstances when life happens. In other words, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Today, we'll be talking about the power in your thoughts. 2 words. Welcome back, everyone, to Make Limited Podcast with your host here, John. I am super pumped up for today. It is a new, you said it, a new season, a new episode, and we are excited to be here because I am pumped up for what we have for you for today. Today, we will be talking about the power in your thoughts. 2 words is going to be something amazing. I'm pumped up for it. But just before we go into the podcast, I did want to let you know that our website, it is open for you to go and check it out. We have been updating it. We have been looking into it. We're working with stuff in there, and I'm super excited to announce that we have a .com. So now you can go to makelemonadepodcast.com, and you can literally see us there and check us out and look at our podcast through the website and other stuff that we're putting in there that's going to be beneficial and value to your life. So without any further ado, let's get into the podcast of today, where we're talking about the power of your thoughts. 2 words. All right, everyone. So today we're talking about the power of your thoughts. 2 words. This is something that honestly we all need to hear. And you just need to come to the podcast and just get encouraged and motivated to be better humans, because today's podcast is going to be specifically for everyone, because it's something that we all do, right? Again, we're talking about the power of your thoughts. 2 words. So for our first point, we're going to be talking about the power of your thoughts. Okay, then we're going to go into point number 2. We can talk about the power of your words, and then we're going to talk about point number 3, where it's a correlation of both. Okay, we're going to combine both and kind of give you a guide of how to use this powerful things that we're going to get into, so that you can really see at the end what you can do with your life, and you're going to be amazed of what you can do and the things that this kind of like superpowers give you. So let's get into it. So the first point is the power of your thoughts. Okay, so I want to go first into number 1 is thinking is real. Okay, so if you're writing this down, or you're in the car, wherever you're at, exercising, running, this is the first point for the power of your thoughts. Number 1, thinking is real. Now, this could not be any further from the truth, as if you are literally touching your hands together, right? As if you are touching, let's say, for example, you have coffee this morning, as you're touching your mug. This is how real your thoughts or your thinking is, okay? Because believe it or not, it may be in your brain that you're thinking, right? And you are and somehow communicating with your body through your brain, and your brain and your thinking is more than just something that you do that no one hears. Okay? It's something that you hear on your own, no one else. It is you. Your thinking is real. Just as your phone, just as maybe you're drinking a nice tea this morning, just as a computer, as a chair, your thinking is real. Okay? And this is something that is beyond power. So many times in my life, when I was younger, I wished that I had like a superpower. Okay? And I always ask myself, what superpower would you have, right? And I think we would all want super strength, immortality, couldn't get injured, healing mechanism or whatever, where you recover super fast, and so on and so forth, right? Kind of like everyone wants to be a Superman, or a Superwoman, right? And it's something that we just have it as a dream, as something that is impossible. And I think so many times we don't think about thinking as we think about thinking as something like that, where we don't take it into a serious note of reality. It's just something that we do on a daily basis. We don't really take it serious, and it's what we do. Every day we wake up, we're thinking. We're thinking about what we're going to do today. We're thinking about our schedules. We're thinking about, what? I'm going to go to so and so's, place. I need to go to work. I need to make sure I complete all my assignments. I need to apply for a college. I need to set up my business. Whatever the case is that you wake up every morning, that you're in the process of the day, it is completely 100% real as you walk. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want you to grasp the essence of what that means. And that is just something so spectacular that I want you to understand it's something that is real. Thinking is real. And I know you're probably thinking, well, yes, I know it's real. What's your point, right? Well, let me give you a definition about thinking. Thinking is the process of using one's mind to consider or reason about something. Okay? So let me say that again. The process of using one's mind to consider or reason about something. Oof. Just right then and there. Exactly what I explained to you. You're thinking. You're considering things or reasons about something. So you're always making the process of what to do next. You're always making this process of where to turn. And it's so crazy how sometimes in our mind we actually don't even tell our arms to do anything, and it does it secondhand. Like, it automatically does it. Do you tell yourself to walk? No, your mind does it on its own. It's something that happens. One of the most powerful things that I've ever heard in my life is that we as humans have the power to create worlds. Now, I know that is something huge. Okay? You're creating a world. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? See, my idea of thinking is that it is so powerful that I actually believe you can create worlds. And if you don't believe me, if you're thinking like, well, that's ridiculous, John. How can we create a world? We're not even there. But my process of thinking is this. If you can think it, you can do it. And the reason why I say that is because look around us. According to our history, we started in a cave. Okay? The Big Bang Theory, whatever you want to believe. We were created by God. Everything, whichever you want to believe, my point is, look at where humanity has come through our history. When in the world did we ever believe that we would have the internet like we do now? When in the world do you ever believe that we would have a device that we used to have on a box now in our hands and we can take anywhere? Literally a walking TV, a walking computer. You can ask somebody 100, 200 years ago if they ever thought about this process. I can tell you this much. Somebody did. Or someone did. So if I can think about creating a world at this time, 100, maybe 1,000 years from now, it may be possible. Which takes me to point number 2. Thoughts create reality. And now, if you don't believe this, let me give you beautiful examples. Okay? If you are sitting down right now, someone in this world thought about the process of, I'm standing, my legs are getting tired, I would like to sit down. But I don't want to just sit down on a rock or on a stone. I want to sit down on something that is comfortable, something that I can relax in, because that's what I want. And so they looked at a tree, they shaped something that had about four legs that could carry them without breaking. They put it together and they sat down. Thoughts create reality. Someone else thought, you know what? I'm tired of just living in a cave. I want to live in a place that I can see outside if someone's coming. I want to live in a place that I can have a door that I can close and open. You know what? I'm going to create a new home for me. And what they decided to do is create a house made out of wood, made out of sticks, made out of straw, made out of grass, made out of rocks and mud. But they decided to do something that completely changed from a cave to a house, or some sort of, beginner house that somebody created, right? You think about the Egyptians, they literally were one of the most advanced civilizations in the beginning, where they were able to create from the Nile a water kind of canals that brought water to their plant, to their food process, to use energy, and they were able to advance their area of life by being able to create these canals that gave water to their city, or to their world, or wherever, whatever you want to call it, country, so that they could have this and be able to create resources for their life. But it all started with the process of a thought, and it created a reality. Somebody thought, you know what, we need some water, and we need to feed our children, and we can't do this in the desert. And that's why it's so amazing to think about the things that we solve, the problems that we solve, because we have a problem that we need to fix. So right now, at this moment, you are trying to decide, trying to convince yourself, trying to, in definition of thinking, consider or reason about something, and you're trying to fix it. You're trying to be able to find a solution to your problem. So many people think, you know what, an education is going to solve my solution from poverty. Some other people think, you know what, getting a business is going to solve my solution for not having an education. And others think, if I go to the very top of my career, I can be okay, financially stable, have my kids, have my wife, live a happy life. Some people want to be single, and they just want to live their life single and gain all of that stuff for them, right? But my point is that they are trying to find a solution. They're reasoning. They're what's the word? They are considering what they can do in order to get ahead in their life. And exactly what Make Limited is about. Make Limited is about how we deal with circumstances, because life happens. And what do we do with those unexpected things that happen in our life? Okay? And that's why thoughts create reality. Because my thought after I had a heart attack was, hey, I want to help people with unexpected things, because I feel that we all have something to say. We all have something to share. Everyone in this world can write a book and talk about their life circumstance and help somebody or help someone else. And that's how powerful our thoughts are. So I created this podcast. I created a YouTube. I created a Facebook. I created these things that started by a thought of a process that I could help people through the power of voice, through the power of pictures, through the power of writing, all these things that could help someone out there improve their life if they had some sort of circumstance in their life that happened. And I wanted to share other people's stories so that they could see from other points of view than just mine about how life sometimes hits others. This is the way my life has been, and I've been sharing with you on my podcast every single thing that I have learned, every single thing that I've gone through, because that is my life circumstances. This is the things that I go through, and I wanted to share this with you because this is maybe something that you didn't know, and now it's going to help you improve your lifestyle. So, talking about this, I'm going to go into point number 3. It starts with a thought. One of the most craziest things that I read in the Bible was this one thing that Jesus said, that when you think it, it already happened. When I heard that, I was like, excuse me? How is that even possible? I'm thinking it. How did that just happen? And because he was talking about when you think about a woman lustfully, you already committed that. And it was so crazy because in this part he's talking about the laws and stuff like that. And for me, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. It was just from, committing the crime to, whoa, the process of thinking it. If you just think it, you have already committed the crime. And for me, I was like, okay. So, in a negative way, that is something that is bad. But what if I turn it around and I talk about it in a positive way? What if I think of myself as something good? It has already happened. I haven't even gone to speak it. But in my thought process, it has already happened. It starts with a thought. The moment that you think it, it's the beginning of whatever it is that you thought. So let's take, for example, a business. The moment that you think it, it's the moment that you started your business. I know that's crazy. I know, we think that, once I get my LLC or my sole proprietorship, that's when I start my business. Once I get my website, once I get my first sale, that's when I start my business. So many things, but the process is this. The moment that you thought it, you started. The moment that you believed it in your mind, you started it. That's how crazy that is. It's so amazing that you have literally superpowers in just your thinking. There are some theories out there that talk about the process of thought, and the Bible talks about this process that people have theories about, where it talks about what you think and the power of your thinking. And so with just a thought, before you even speak a word, it has already happened. That is amazing to think about because it's a different perspective. It's a different way of even imagining or thinking stuff, That's why I say whatever you can imagine, it can happen. Why? Because your thoughts are real. Because your thoughts create reality. So, in conclusion, it starts with a thought. Don't forget that. Secondly, I want to talk to you about the power of your words. Now, I have read books about this. I have, this is something the Bible talks about consistently, and the powers that you have through just your words. And it's so amazing of what to think about this because so many times, and I connect it to superhero because when I was younger, even now, I'm like, what kind of powers would I have? What kind of powers do we? And I can't even imagine. Like, take for example, if you know about X-Men and the Wolverine, he heals fast, right? And when I was younger, I would think about, man, I wish I had that function where I could heal fast. And then I realized when we get cut, we don't heal as fast, but we still heal. And I was like, whoa, do I have like a power or something? My point to this is that our powers are not literally magical, are not literally something that we can pick up super heavy. It's the point that it has power in a very different way. And today I'm talking about, again, the power of your thoughts to words. So, point number two, power of your words. I want to talk about, in this subject, the power of the words. Number one is build or destroy. The power of your words has the power to build or destroy. Now, this is very important. Very, very important. Okay? Because you can literally, in today, say something to someone and can either build their life to become something great or destroy their life and they no longer exist. So, in a more, I want to say, point, you have the power to give life or to give death. That is crazy to think about. Because when you think about how bullying works is by literally making sure that you put someone down and make fun of them because of who they are. That right there can literally hurt thousands of people. And the reason why I say this is because that one word has caused people to lose their life in a more serious sense. And I don't mean to go too serious about this, but I want you to get the concept that the power of your words has the power to build or to destroy lives. We have seen it through history, how words have changed thousands, a country, and destroyed them to the point of, going genocide on destroying a culture or destroying a race. The power of your words can build or destroy. With a single word, there can be war. With a single word, there can be peace. And of course, not a single word, but with words, there can be peace, and with words, there can be war. You have the power to build or to destroy. So that takes me into the thought and the process of, how are you speaking to yourself? Which leads me to point number two. Talking to yourself is more than what meets the eye. And the reason why I say this is because it's not, the concept of talking to yourself, I think, has turned into, oh man, that person, something's wrong with them. But to be honest with you, there have been studies to say that actually talking to yourself is a good thing. And talking to yourself actually builds, in a sense, more. I kind of don't remember the main words of it, but in a very paraphrasing statement, it literally helps you think better. It helps you move forward in what you're doing. It brings your thoughts forward. It lets you really, really your personality out. And so, in those things, in talking to yourself is actually a good thing. Because you're able to speak to yourself in a manner that lets you move forward. So talking to yourself is more than just what meets the eye. So back to the question of the first point is, how are you talking to yourself? Are you building or you're destroying? Are you bullying yourself? Because let me take it in this direction. Say for example, you talk to yourself and you always tell yourself negative things. How could you do that? Oh my goodness, you're so dumb. Oh my gosh, why would you even do that? What kind of person are you? Those words actually affect you. Because remember, in the point number one, your thought, just by thinking it becomes real. Secondly, you are speaking this into your life. You are destroying yourself by talking this way. When you speak of yourself and think like this and speak to yourself, who are you? Why are you doing this? You are literally putting yourself in a state of negativity. And negativity turns into something that is destroying, and destroying is something that is taking from your life. Something that is taking from your life. That's what's very important. And I don't mean to go into this area of joking where joking and what you say to others can also affect them. Again, the power of your words have the power to build or to destroy, to give life or to give death. So it might be a joke, it might be something that is really funny, but think to yourself, with what I'm saying, am I destroying myself or am I building myself? Because your words have power. Your words have power, and not in the sense that you can literally, have magical powers or superpowers, but your speech of what you say has an effect on you, has an effect on others. So what are you saying to yourself? What are you speaking to yourself? And this is something that you can exercise every morning. And a lot of people meditate in the morning. I'm one of them. I meditate because I want to really focus on myself and be, what can I do today that is better? What can I say to myself that is better, that brings life, that brings joy, that brings and builds people up? And so I meditate and I start telling myself, you are responsible. You are honest. You are brave. You are intelligent. You are worthy. You are smart. And I start telling myself by building myself up. And I think about it. I speak it. Why? Because my body needs to hear it. My mind needs to understand it, and the process of it becoming starts building. That is the most beautiful thing that we have every day, every morning, building ourselves up by telling ourselves these things, that automatically your body is going to believe it. You are going to believe it. You're going to start manifesting this in your life by telling yourself these things. Don't wait for others to tell you this. Tell yourself these things. Your body needs to hear it. You need to hear it. Encouraging words. This is something why I make this podcast, because if you hear this in the morning, if you hear this in the evening, or in the noon, in the night, you are hearing things that are motivating you, that are building you up. Why? Because I believe that there are powers in our words, power in our thoughts. So this takes me to point number 3. What you tell yourself matters, because others will see you as such. Let me say that again. What you tell yourself matters, because others will see you as such. And this is why it's so important. When you talk to yourself and you tell yourself these things, what you say and believe, people will see it, because it's what you will show. If you believe you're shy, if you speak to yourself or you speak to others in a conversation and say, oh, I'm shy, I'm introvert, I'm blah, 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 then you are literally putting yourself in a state of becoming what you're saying. Wow, I know, right? It's super crazy to think about it. Yes. So, I'm all up for the 16 personalities, the five personalities that you can take online and go and find your personalities. And you can say, well, I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert, I'm this, I'm that, and so on and so forth. I have these personalities, yeah, I'm like this. And that's all good. I'm not against it. It's good to know about yourself. It's good to see from different questions of how all that goes. But yet, that does not have the power over you. That does not have to say that that's exactly who you are. Because the only person who has the power to say who you are is you. You can change just because if it's on a paper and says you're an introvert, but you want to be an extrovert, you want to be outgoing, you want to be, outspoken, you want to share your thoughts. But because you think that you're an introvert, you're going to stay an introvert. But if you start practicing and you start speaking and you start bettering your communication and you start going to more social places to be social, then you start understanding that you are becoming what you want to become by saying it, by thinking, and by creating that action. And ultimately, people are going to start thinking of you as an extrovert. You have the power, not a test that you take, not something that someone says about you, not what, maybe you go into a program and it says that you're doing something a certain way and that's who you are. Let me tell you something. They may have a depict of somewhat of your, let's say, for example, of your habits or maybe something that you've created through the culture and society that you grew up in, and that is something that was stuck on you. But it doesn't mean that's who you are. It doesn't mean that that's who you need to be. Because ultimately, you are creating your world. You are creating who you are through the process of the thought and the word. And what better person than to build yourself than you? Instead of letting others from outside who don't know who you are in the inside, who you want to become in the inside, it's better for you to speak those things to yourself than to hear it from someone else. Because if you try to wait for someone else to speak something into your life, my goodness, you're going to be waiting for a while, right? Or you're going to have to be going to conferences and trying to get that person or the speaker to somehow pick you and say good things about you. But what if they don't? What if they start mentioning just like the papers that you're like this, you're like that, you're like this, but you can change, you can do this, and you can do that. That is some way that can help you, but that is not exactly what it's going to do. Now you're going to go through another process of what someone else is depicting or deciphering about yourself. So the power of here is what you tell yourself matters because others are going to see it. Others are going to see it. There's this thing on TikTok where it shows like it kind of divides the picture or the video into two people of you, right? Same person. And one side says how you see yourself and the other side is how other people see you. And it's so funny because, one either is like weird looking and then the other one is like a little better looking, or it's very different. It differs on many people. But what I'm saying with this part is that that's literally how it happens. In one way, you see yourself as something, and then in another way, people see you as another way. But when you start speaking to yourself and you start saying these things about yourself, that you are intelligent, you're smart, you're outgoing, you can do this, whatever it is that you want to be, and you start literally speaking it out, you're going to start noticing that you're going to start creating those actions. And you're going to start becoming those actions. And then that's going to be what you're going to start owing to people. And they're going to start seeing that. Why? Because you are doing what you are saying. Because that process started with a thought. The thought went to a word. And that word created action within you that literally people are seeing it through the outside. That is the power of your words. So remember this, that what you tell yourself matters because others will see you as such. All right, guys, and our last point is correlation of both. This is point number 3, correlation of both power of your thoughts and power of your words. Okay, this is something that's going to help you tremendously in your life. Okay, so please come with me right now into the process of the correlation of both the thought and words. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because what I'm going to tell you is going to change your life. Okay, this is the part that I told you that it was going to give you insights to things that you probably didn't know. Okay, and it's going to take you into another level of how you can think about yourself, how you can speak to yourself. This is the process. Okay, so first I want to start off with number 1. It's a process of thought to your mouth. Okay, it's a process. So let's put it this way. The process starts off with you thinking. We talked about it in point number 1. Thinking is real. Thoughts create reality. It starts with a thought. Everything that you think about, everything that you literally either see or anything that you're putting through your eyes, not literally, but like seeing through a TV screen or through your ears, whatever you're hearing, that is feeding your thought, your mind. Whatever you're reading, whatever you're hearing to podcasts, for example, as Make Lemonade, you are feeding your mind those things. And it's calculated and it's putting everything together so that you can understand and have a process of a thought that is molding you into your character. That is super crazy, right? So literally everything that you're putting through your senses, your mind, your thought, your brain is processing it so that you can understand the world around you, right? So that you can understand that, hey, fire is hot. If I touch fire, it's going to burn my finger because my finger is made out of an organ that is a skin that burns and it can't take fire. And if I do, I can burn off my finger. So you get what I'm saying? That is what your brain is processing. So your brain is also processing, if I start a business or if I start an idea of starting a business, maybe going to school, maybe going to doing good grades, maybe being responsible. If I do, there is a reward that I can have that will benefit my life. So your brain processes these things that you input through your senses, and then it forms it into a thought that makes a decision or considers or reasons, and then comes up with a solution that now from high school you sign up for college, which ultimately will give you the process of having a good job, and then you have a family and live happily ever after. And that is your process. Now, that's not everyone's process, so don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying that go to school and do all this stuff, which is a good thing to do, but also want you to let you know that there are many steps to success. Many steps. Depending on what you want to do and how you want to live your life, that success is going to be different for you than for someone else. Okay? And if you want to be successful like someone that you admire, then I recommend find the blueprint that they did. Who did they follow? And see their blueprint and follow the exact blueprints that they did. And you can have the same life that they did. Okay? So, again, that is the process that it happens in your brain. You think about it, you imagine it, you're considering, you reason, and then it is spoken through your mouth. You say, I'm going to school, I'm going to college, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to, I'm going to, I'm going to, I'm going to. That is the process that it starts. Okay? And that process goes into an action. And that action becomes something that you do consistently, and it ultimately takes you to a place. Again, we give the example of someone who thought about a housing, right? From a cave to a clay house, to a clay house, to a house of wood, to a house of wood, a house of brick, and now we can live literally in almost any material. We have concrete, we have plastic, we have metals, we have, you name it, you can build it. Crazy, I know. There was one where I saw on, I believe, Facebook, and it was a science technology kind of page, and they were literally trying to make brick out of a type of mushroom that could actually be better for the community or the world, due to the fact that concrete does not decompose, and this kind of brick did. So if there was a building left over or abandoned, it would literally just go back into its nature and not harm the world, versus concrete, which they were saying did harm in some form or way. So they were preventing those things by creating a new type of form of brick that was resistant to heat, that could be durable, strong, strength, and they were barely going through the process of building it and testing the strength, testing the durability of it. So they weren't quite there. But it all started with the idea of her trying to better and building homes that were better for our world. And so she had the idea of building something through a certain process that could help a world out when you no longer needed that home, or if it was abandoned. So that was a process of her thought that created something that now, maybe in the future, would be the new brick or the new concrete that people will use, right? So there are so many technology that people are doing as well. They're trying to use natural materials that can be beneficial to us and to our world. But that all started with the process of a thought that now became a thought that she was actually sharing with people on the internet, so that people can see it, support it, and help her out, right? Those who believe in the economy and want to help the economy out through better health, better solutions for global warming, and so on and so forth. That is number one. That is how the process works. Okay, it all starts with a thought, goes into a word, and then goes into the process of action and it happening. So this is the way that I want you to think about it. Point number two is the quote that I'm going to give you that's going to help you out. And you probably heard this quote before, but here we go. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your action. Watch your action, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Powerful. Powerful. Let me say it one more time. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your action. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. That in itself is completely powerful. Thoughts to actions, actions to habits, habits to destiny. That is super, super amazing, that I want you to take for yourself. A quote that you can think about. An easy quote that you can think about, that the process of what you're thinking is more powerful than what you think. I know that's ironic, but it's more powerful than what you think. So I want you to take this to heart because it's something that you need to know that it's going to build your life. This simple process will build your life to literally make you a better human. So how do we do this? Well, this is the way. In point number 3, I want you to look. Okay, I want you to look at this as words to live by. You think what you are, you speak what you are, you become what you are. Okay? You think what you are, you speak what you are, you become what you are. Now, this is a little bit more simple to understand, and instead of remembering that quote that is super huge, but this is what I want you to live by, the words to live by. You think what you are, you speak what you are, you become what you are. And the reason why I say this is because I want you to repeat this process every single time. When you're trying to reach something, when you're trying to become something, you think about it. You think about what you want to be. Think about it. Think about it daily. Think about it every single day of your life, what you want to become. And the more you think about it, the more you process it, the more you practice it, the more you turn it into words. It comes out, right? Because from within is where people will see who you are as soon as you speak. There's one saying that I heard one time, and it's it was so funny because if you speak, people will find out, or according to my history professor, when you speak, people will find out how dumb you are. And if you stay quiet, people will think that you are the most brilliant person in the world. And this was something that he did in his life because it worked for him. He would rather say little than say a lot, where people would pay attention to what he would say. Now, I'm not saying do this, right? I'm saying just pay attention to what I'm saying. Because the process here is think what you are. The moment you think what you are and keep repeating that in your head, you're gonna start speaking of those things. Okay? But you have to think about it, believe them. Remember, those things become reality. They are real. And when you start speaking them into your life, it becomes something that you start becoming through action. The more you speak to yourself of the thing that you want to be, the more you become it. The more your body starts transforming itself, not literally, but it starts preparing itself to become that of which you speak of. So, words to live by. You think what you are, you speak what you are, you become what you are. And I'm telling you today, it's going to be beneficial to your life when you start looking at life like this way. So, remember, words to live by. You think what you are, you speak what you are, you become what you are. Alright everyone, your host John here with Make Living Podcast. Super excited that you have made it to the end of this podcast where we talked about the power of your thoughts to words. And this is something that really, really has transformed my life completely. I mean completely. From books to articles to the Bible, it has really transformed my life because it is something that I don't think we really take into consideration until we start doing it. And just as much as what I say, if you don't think about it, you don't care about it, is exactly what happens here. If you really don't think about this process of how your thoughts are actually powerful, you don't really act upon it, right? So now that you know about how powerful your thoughts are and how the process of your thought to words to action happens, now you have the ability and the power to do anything you want. I recommend and I highly encourage you to do something in your life that is beneficial to you and beneficial to others. But start with you so that you can move on forward and do great things, not only for yourself, but for humanity. Because that's what we're here for. We're here to take care of this world and its whole ecosystem, and also care for your neighbor, that not literally, but your neighbor, but care for those who are around you consistently. And that's what we do. That's what we do. As humans, that's what we do in this world that we live in. So, again, this is your host, John. We talked about today about the power of your thoughts to words, how your thoughts are actually real, how they create reality, and it all starts with just thinking about it. Then we went into power of your words, how to build. Your words are so powerful that build and destroy. Use it wisely. Talking to yourself is more than what meets the eye. And number 3, what you tell yourself matters because others will see you as such, right? And then we went into the correlation of both, where we talked about the process of how your brain gets these ideas and reasons what is best. It's so crazy because that comes from what you put into yourself, whether it be through your senses of eyes, hearing, speaking, others speaking to you, what you listen, what you see, what you literally taste. And so all those things are very powerful into your thought process. So see things that benefit you, hear things that benefit you, so that you can start thinking, you can start saying those things into words, becoming action, and becoming ultimately who you want to be in your destiny. So that is it for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And again, remember that we have our new website you can go to on makelimited.com. MakeLimitedPodcast.com, and you can go there and check us out and find out more information of how to help us out to keep going strong on our podcast and building up. And you can see things that we're going to be doing in the future. Our updates are always there on our website. Check it out. I'm super excited about this so that you can be a part of it, of our community, of how we can make lemonade with the lemon that life gives us. So guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time, and I hope that you have an amazing day and stay strong.